Let's look at the world itself, right? We just concluded the whole tournament. But throughout the whole tournament, we saw a lot of international big boy teams crumbling. I'm a Man U fan, I can tell you for free. Without Amad Diallo and Bryan Mbeumo and Nous Mazraoui, the team looked confused, brother. We got knocked out of the FA Cup by Brighton. We were barely scraping through points. We had a manager sacked in that period. But finally, the two boys came back. Amad Diallo and Bryan Mbeumo came back, and the team almost looked like Fergie Manchester United, right? And that's just not speaking to Man United as a team, but even Man City, right? The team that we got to play against. It was interesting to see Haaland be taken off and an 18, 19-year-old kid be brought on as a replacement. But it only clicked to me that Omar Marmoush is at AFCON. He typically would be the one to come on and change the trajectory for City. Talk to me, Swizz, about that factor of what the world looked like without all these African players shaking up in not just Europe, but even in Saudi.
Yeah, I think, Mike, it's a great point. A lot of times, AFCON wasn't one of the main tournaments that used to affect a lot of teams, right? Similarly, in the Prem, Man City in particular was one of those teams. And I still don't think it affects him as much because I think Marmoush is the only player from City that is of African descent. I'm sorry, Semenyo, does Semenyo play
Semenyo, well, he just signed, and Ghana wasn't playing at AFCON,
he just signed.
so.
Yes, got you. Yeah. So now that would be two players that potentially would go back for an AFCON, but he regularly doesn't keep a lot of African players, That's not really Pep's style. He's a European guy, right? So I think Man United in particular, or teams that are just heavy with African players, the African player, man, is an amazing and extremely loyal to the soil player, as the special one Jose Mourinho said.
He used to say that,
like,
yeah.
He literally said that, like he's like, there's guys that's around my age and they still call me daddy. He's like, it's like, he's like,
this affection exists. I love the guys. I love to work with the African players. I think I take the best out of the guys. I think the guys, they see in me somebody that really loves them and admires their qualities as players and persons. I always loved and I always had great response from African players.
But he's the only coach, I believe, that could go to the continent right now, and the love for him is insane across even rival fans. Like I'm an Arsenal fan, and I love Jose Mourinho. I think he's been phenomenal for the African player, that specific type of player, and he's done so much with them. But what they've been able to do in European football as of late, has been huge. They are no longer, just the one player that comes off the bench randomly or whatever. They're starters, man. Africans are starters. They're headliners. They're players that really are game changers. You know what I mean? Really doing huge things. And that's just the ones that play for the African teams that go back home and play, let alone the ones that are of African descent, that are out here, that are still, that are doing amazing things. So I'm really glad that I saw, like a player that is a player that I think was my player to watch this tournament, Iliman Ndiaye, who can play for England, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yes.
And chose to go and play for Senegal. That is, that's amazing, and he really showed his class, man. So, shout out to him, but, shout out to the African players, man.
Omar?
I mean, I think Muqbil said it. I said it best, but I honestly feel like, bro, Africans are like in an army, bro. They're like the front liners, bro. Like you can trust that the African on your team will be willing to put every crunching tackle necessary. And on top of that, defensively, brother, we saw throughout this whole tournament in the AFCON, brother, Africans are some raw football playing individuals, brother. They go in just menaces, brother. And in the best way though.
I love
that
it.
you
I
want,
love it.
That
Yeah,
you want on your
like
team.
it's the menace that you love. It's the but when he's against you, you hate him.
You hate him for sure, brother. For sure. And bro, even you could even see like a little bit of what I love so much about the game through the coaches as well, bro. Like even like in this last final, bro. Like the
bro, the fieriness was amazing, bro.
Bro, that is why I feel like this game will never die out, bro, because it's about the spirit that Africans instill into the team. And let alone if your entire team is African, brother, you got just a full breed of spiritual beings that just love every moment, that are willing to break their legs, get concussions, bleed out. I saw this. You see what I'm saying? A guy had, I forgot his name, brother. He had the headband with the blood over it. Like we're actually at war.
Amazing.
Like, brother,
amazing. He said, "I'm not coming off. I'm not wrap me up, coach. Wrap me up, coach. I'm here."
and I'm sure he was concussed too. So it's that type of stuff, brother, that Africans instill into the game that the people watching also feel, and we can't help but get glued to the screen because we experience it with them. That's how deep it is for us Africans to watch Africans play as a collective or just as individuals in certain teams.